What is good, everyone? Welcome back to the PWD channel, where we discuss professional wrestling. In today's episode, we are covering the February 22nd, 2023 episode of AEW Dynamite, and we're going to be kicking off right off with the Bryan Danielson versus MJF promo, because that was the best segment of the night for sure. But overall, this was a pretty good episode of Dynamite. Nothing, too crazy, but also it wasn't boring. There was no bad segments in my opinion, except for like the Saraya stuff, which has been bad all throughout. But it was a good episode of Dynamite. But let's get straight on to the hottest talking point of the show. I just wanted to cover some of the best things that happened in the show, and one of them was the Bryan Danielson versus MJF promo that did happen. So Bryan Danielson came out for a promo. He didn't get to cut too long of a promo before MJF immediately came out and interrupted him. And as MJF typically does, he turned this feud from something that was good into something that was beyond excellent. He kicked this feud up a huge notch. So like, MJF did not come to play. As soon as MJF came out with the mic, I knew, okay, here we are. MJF's about to make this feud a 10 out of 10. And that is exactly what he set out to do. And he did do that. So MJF made this feud personal. A feud that was just about the world title between two men. A feud that was mostly just about, Danielson, you don't have what it takes. He went from that to personal. Like, this became personal. So MJF comes out, and immediately he starts talking about why he hates Danielson, and some of the reasons, and like the main reason that he hates Danielson is because Danielson has a family. He said, Danielson, you have a beautiful wife and kids. You have all of this stuff. My fiance left me, and I didn't even know this. I don't think most people knew this, but he announced basically that his fiance left him. He said that woman, his fiance, she changed him. She changed him. She made him a different person. He went from being someone who couldn't trust anyone at all to trusting this woman, so much so that he got down on a knee and asked to start a family with her. Obviously, he proposed to her. He wanted a wife and kids. He wanted to build a beautiful home with her. He trusted her. He believed that this is exactly what would happen when he got with her. He thought that he proposed to her with intentions of starting a beautiful family similar to what Danielson already has. And she was the only person he could ever trust, he said. He said that she was the only person he could trust, but he no longer has her. She ripped that from him, and now he's alone, and there is only one thing left in this life that he has that he can trust, and that's his AEW World Championship. And he points to his belt. He's like, this is the only thing I have left in this world that I can trust, and you're trying to take that from me, Bryan Danielson. I've already lost my fiance. You're trying to take that. You're trying to take this World Championship from me. And you know what, Danielson? I despise you. And he brought up some of the reasons he despised you. He was like, Danielson, you had concussion after concussion after concussion after concussion. So much so that it's been to the point where you're sitting there in the middle of the ring, foaming at the mouth, having seizures in the middle of the ring because you have been concussed so badly, so many times. And I hate you because of that. I hate you because despite all of that, despite the fact that you already have a beautiful wife and kids at home, despite all of that, you still choose wrestling over your wife and kids. You are basically saying, every time you step into this ring, you are basically saying, I prefer wrestling over my own family. And MJF says, I despise that, because you are taking for granted everything that I wanted, everything that I want. I want a wife and kids. I want a beautiful home. I want a beautiful family. And you take it for granted by wrestling week in and week out. And every time you get into this ring, it's like you're spitting in my face, and I hate you because of it. And he is just cutting this passionate promo. He's going off, and he's disgusted with Danielson for wrestling and continuing to wrestling despite the injuries that Danielson has obviously had. And then he also says, Danielson, Dragon, you're no better than your drug-addicted mentor William Regal. And then he says one other thing too. He's like, at Revolution, I'm going to punish you for trying to take the only thing that I have left in this life. He also said that, and this was crazy, he also said that the AEW World Championship is the only thing that's stopping him from grabbing a fistful of pills and ending it all. So it shows how much the AEW World title means to MJF. It means so much to him that he'll kill himself if he loses it, which is crazy. But when this got really personal is when he said, hi, Birdie. And he says, I'm going to talk to your children at home now. He's like, I have the exact quote here. It's like, hi, Birdie, it's your Uncle Max here. Come Revolution, I'm going to make Dada pay for all of his selfishness. I'm going to grab Dada's arm and I'm going to rip it out of his socket until he submits. I'm going to make sure Dada can never play with you again. Obviously talking to Birdie, right through the camera lens too. For 1 hour straight, I'm going to make sure Dada can never pick you up again. And then I'm going to grab Dada's head and hit him with my fist over and over again. And then I'm going to give Dada a present on March 5th. Early onset seek, and then he didn't finish his sentence. I'm actually not sure what he was going to say. I'm not a medical professional. I know he was going to say something crazy, something kind of mocking Danielson's concussion history, and probably something referencing that Danielson is going to lose his sanity after that and basically go insane because of concussions. Something really bad. Comment down below what he said, because I tried looking it up. I couldn't find anything that sounded similar to what he said. Again, he said early onset seek, and I don't know what he was going to say after that. But after that, Danielson had enough. He went straight for the attack, and these two brawled for a while. Security tried breaking them up for a while, but they couldn't. But it was an awesome brawl, and what an awesome promo. Going from something that was just like, Danielson, you can't hang with me, or turning it from that to, Danielson, this is personal. You have taken for granted what I wanted in life, and I've lost what I originally wanted, was a family. I lost my fiance. I lost all of that. So now all I have is the world title, and you're trying to take that from me too? MJF is pissed, and MJF just flips the switch up like he does in every single feud that he's ever in. He makes it personal. Beautiful, fantastic promo from MJF. Wonderful middle of the show segment that was just amazing. Great angle. If you haven't seen it, you need to go check it out. It was a great one. And yeah, like I said, this was a good episode of Dynamite. Nothing crazy, nothing like up there. I wouldn't say it's like a 5 out of 5, but there were some good matches. Orange Cassidy versus Wheeler Yuta for the All-Atlantic Championship kicked off the match, and this was a really, really great match. Obviously, former best friends, now turned rivals, I guess you could say. Wheeler Yuta playing the serious role, the Blackpool Combat role, versus Orange Cassidy, who's always the goofier type. It was just a wonderful dynamic that worked in the ring, and it was a great match as well. Orange Cassidy ended up winning. It took 2 orange punches and a beach break to win, but he got Wheeler Yuta down anyways, and it was a great match. Very, very good match. I would check that out as well. Jericho versus Ricky Starks was made official at Revolution, but Jericho Appreciation Society is banned from ringside for this match. Another thing that happened was, like, Christian Cage came out for an interview. Jungle Boy attacked him from behind, and then Jungle Boy almost went for the concerto, but he hesitated too much. Freaking Christian Cage low blowed him, and that was it. He hit I believe he hit the concerto on Jungle Boy after that. Jungle Boy was bleeding, looked like a mess. Evil Uno versus John Moxley. If you're into consensual violence, all that bloody stuff, that was a good main event to the match. There was also a big AEW announcement today. Adam Cole made this announcement on behalf of Tony Khan and AEW. They're starting a brand new show called AEW All Access. You're basically going to be able to get to see the behind the scenes of Dynamite and Rampage and all that. This is actually a show that's starting in March, and it's airing every single week after Dynamite. So immediately following up from Dynamite, it's like a third hour extension to Dynamite, but it's not. I don't think it's going to be about wrestling. I think it's just going to be more about the backstage side of things. So that's going to be interesting on TBS again every week after Dynamite. Really, really interesting. I'm excited to see how that show is. I don't think I'll be watching it personally, but I like to see the clips and see some of the backstage things that happen with that show. But yeah, that's kind of the end of this review. It was, like I said, it was a good episode of Dynamite. Nothing too crazy. We've seen a lot better episodes, but also wasn't bad by any means. And I would say, yeah, it was just good. There was some fair, decent wrestling on there. Oh, I forgot to mention too, Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett won the Tag Team Battle Royale, so they're now entered into the Revolution card. The Triple Threat versus the Acclaimed and the Ass Boys, which, weird choice. I don't know why they went with Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, but okay, I mean, that was weird. But yeah, other than that, that's going to be at the end of this review. I'm going to rate this show a 3.4 out of 5. Fair show, decent, some great matches, good segments, beautiful mid-show segment between Danielson and MJF. But other than that, there was nothing like crazy, like rock your socks. I don't know why I just said that. That was cringe. But there was nothing too crazy. But hope you guys did enjoy this episode of the review. If you did, leave a like. Subscribe to the channel down below if you haven't already. We make wrestling content like this weekly. I'll be back with a Friday Night SmackDown episode. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in a bit. Love you all. Peace.